Hello, 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 hello. Hi, everyone. If you just give me a moment. This is SB from SVG On Demand, and I am live here with you. Hello, hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you. Hello, everyone. So thank you for joining. I'm live here. We're gonna do a free SVG making class. And so again, I'm SB. I am our SVG making guru here at SVG On Demand. And I'm coming to you live with a free SVG making class today. And we'll be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition to make the SVG. Since we are live, it gives us a chance to interact in the comments. So feel free to post any questions. If it's not live, we'll still come back and answer anything to give you help. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to go ahead without further ado and jump right into the class. I'm going to share my screen. And if you just give me one moment to do that. I hope everyone's doing well. If you can comment, where are you from? Where's everybody from? All right, let's share my screen. And now again, I am using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. And the file that we'll be working with tonight is one of our exclusive files that we had made just for our SVG On Demand family. It's been released in ping form right now, but we're gonna make the SVG in today. So everyone's doing well. If you know me, I am about my SVGs, I'm about my business. The one thing that I teach every time I teach is that you have to have, actually before, clean, crisp, smooth cutting lines. We want clean, crisp, smooth cutting lines. So that means when I'm looking at this image, the lines in this image should be smooth. That's ideal for making your own SVGs, guys, is to have straight lines. And I say that because when you go to cut this file, if you're using this with heat transfer vinyl or 651, or you're using your cutting machine, then you're gonna want these lines to be nice to your machine. You don't want them jagged and all over the place, messing up your vinyl. It'll be a waste of time. And so what we're gonna do is, with this particular SVG, we're gonna break it apart and we're going to add color. And so we say that we call that making a layered SVG. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually trace this. So I'm gonna open up my trace tool. Just one moment. Open that up. And with my tracing tool here, I'm gonna go to select trace area. And I'm going to draw a box around this image. Now this grayed out box represents our tracing tool, and everything that is now yellow will represent what will ultimately be our SVG. So when we look at these yellow lines, we want to make sure that all of our lines are closed. We want them to be smooth. We want to be able to see that this looks the way that we want our SVG to. We don't have any gaps. And if we want to address this in any way, if we start seeing that maybe it didn't pull in enough, or maybe it pulled in too much, like I'm seeing here, we kind of lost her fingernails in this image, we can adjust our threshold. So I'm going to actually just click the down arrow to adjust the threshold here and see if that improves our trace any. Still looking at missing a lot of gaps in the eyes. Let's see, I don't know if those are not gonna come in. I'll probably have to recreate those. So I'm gonna bring my threshold back up. And even though I'm losing some details, I'll recapture them in other ways. But most importantly, the overall trace will be good. Now this image is rather complicated. It has a lot of little pieces. This is something that I want to break down though, because I want to be able to use this to bring in, to make different pings for sublimation purposes. So I'm still going to break this down. So I'm going to hit trace. Now, once you've hit trace, you notice that there's a faint red outline behind, well, actually on top of your image. So I'm going to pull this image away. I just clicked and dragged it. I'm going to hit delete. And here is the actual SVG itself. that red, what was yellow in our trace is now red, and this represents our SVG. If we just wanted to make this a one cut image and only use one color of vinyl, right here at the top, I'm selecting to fill it all in black and fill the lines all in black. So this is your ability to fill. These are your fill panels. So you can access it here at the top of the page, or you can click these little icons here on the side. Each of these represents a panel that you work with in Silhouette. So I'm going to click to open our fill panel. And now you can click the top of each one of these panels. They can move around. You can space them onto wherever on your canvas or your screen you want to. But you want your fill panel. You'll also want your line style panel. And that's right here. And I'm just going to click and drag this over here too. You see that the panels also, they're magnetic. They kind of stick to each other if you lock them in. But you can put them wherever you want to on your screen. And these are panels that you'll use very often in making your SVGs. Now, in addition to the fill panel and the line style panel, you'll also use the modify panel, which is represented here in these two shapes. This is how we're going to break our SVG apart. SVGs are just basically a whole bunch of shapes, guys. So it's about the shapes and how they break together and how they come together on your actual SVG that allows you to add color and make it more complex. So let me zoom in. So looking here, I am going to make my line color black, and I'm going to make my fill color here white. And this is the only time in your SVG making process, and I have to select my image to do that, that it's okay for your line style color and your fill color to be different. This is the only part of this process that's okay. Now that we have this here, we can clearly see that each one of these shapes, so every lock here makes up a shape. We're going to pop each one of these out. Right now, it's all one piece. We want it to be multiple pieces. So in order to do that, and to see it clearly, I'm actually going to go to my page settings here, and I'm going to select that I actually have a machine on. So I'm going to select like I have my cameo. And I'm actually going to go to make sure, I want this on portrait. We got our 12 by 12, actually I want it 12 by 12. I just want you guys to be able to see right here we're on the reveal. We're going to turn it all the way up to 100 just so that you can see nothing but the cutting mat itself, so that you can see clearly what we're about to do. So right here, let's close that page down. I'm going to select release under the compound paths. Under the modify panel here, I'm going to select release. And now you see everything has popped out. This is the part now that we can color. Now we can go in and make sure each one of these shapes gets a color to it. So if we wanted to just look, these are the jeans here. That's an individual shape itself. We can color that. So I usually start, my rule of thumb is to start from the outside and work my way in. I go for my big outline first. So every SVG that you have, as long as your lines are closed, should allow you to do something like this. So now I've found this big base black outline, which ironically is pretty good. Most of this is all one piece. So if I zoom in, here we go. And so we go over a lot of this in detail with our masterclass for $25 a month. Ooh, I see an open line. We can fix that though. You'll get access to our SVG making tutorials, any of our machine-based tutorials for only $25 a month. And we hold weekly live tutorials as well. So I'm just selecting anything else on this shape that needs to be filled in as black. I like to work in color grouping, so I start out with my base black outline, and I go from there and make sure that everything that is black is actually black. And now this could get a little tedious if you had a lot of extra pieces. So what you can do is holding down your shift key on your keyboard, you select each shape that you want to make completely black. And if don't be afraid, if you click something that you're not supposed to, like let's say we clicked her shoulder here, you just double click it, still hold your shift key down. You can click off as well as click on. And now you can fill all of these at once. Again, like I said, we'll have to fix her mouth. There's a couple places that we'll have to fix. But the great thing about using Silhouette Studio Business Edition for this is that it has so many different tools that you can use in this whole editing and creating process that are relatively user-friendly. And now I'll show you why this mouth will cause us a problem the way it is here, and I'll show you how to fix that. So I'm going to zoom out, make sure that I've got everything grabbed that I need to. So this little outside circle here, I want to make black too. All right. And so now what I'm going to show you is a little bit of what's called point editing. Like I told you, this wasn't the best trace ever, because if we look around her eyes here, we look at this gap in the lips, some of the nails are all completely black instead of having a spot for nails. So what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in here, and I'll show you a little bit about point editing in Silhouette. So this shape here, I want to increase its size. I can do it simply as selecting it and making it bigger, which in this case I think works really good. And we're good to go. And I'm doing all of this while we have our paths released. I'm going in and making any adjustments to this image that I feel would be necessary to either one, make it more cut friendly or make it more print friendly, taking out any lines that I might personally feel are unnecessary, like this right here at the neck. I feel like we can take that out. It would be an easy line to lose, but still make the SVG itself a little less complicated to work with. Let's go over here and check out these lips. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just double clicking, and this is what we call point editing. When I double click this line here, it reveals all of these little gray nodes. Each one of these little nodes represents a cut path. So this is the point that your machine is going to take, where the blade is going to go from this node to this node to this node to this node in order to cut each one of these shapes. We don't want to see a lot of nodes because that means that your line is not smooth, but you also want to make sure that everything is closed here together. Sometimes that's difficult. So in this case, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go over here to our shape, and I'm going to grab myself a line. Just want a straight line. And here under the line style panel, we're going to click the first option here for the line style, not the line color. And I'm going to increase the thickness of the line slightly. I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to just draw myself a line. I went back, grab your arrow, because anytime you use any of these functions, you need to be able to click off. You click off of it to deactivate that function just by grabbing your arrow back. So now I'm going to select my new line, my lip line. And here under the modify panel, I'm going to select weld. Oops, I'm not. Forgot about that part. This lip is actually pretty good. That is closed in. So what we're going to first do is we're going to select this, holding down the shift key with just our lip. We're going to select the mouth. What we lost here, what I should show you is if we move this lip, this is a full shape. Nothing is cut out of anything here. So what I could actually do is I can move that to the side, select my line, hold my shift key down, select my base lip. Now I can hit weld. Now I'm going to have to address this in some way with my line size, because once I hit weld, it made it back together and we don't want that. So let's hit undo. Takes a little creative thinking sometimes. So instead of that way, I'm going to hit And I'm gonna group these two together. Let me zoom out. And I'll show you a little quick cheat. I use my offset tool to recreate shapes sometimes. So I'm gonna go over here to offset. And this is the tool that actually creates the outline around anything. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna select to offset. I'm gonna bring that offset all the way down. I want it right here. And so you can actually adjust it here. You can make it as big or as small as you want. I think that's pretty good. We're gonna hit apply. And see this original shape we can delete. Now we have this new one that's completely closed here. Fill it in back. Now you see, it's not as perfect as we would want it, and especially with me, I am OCD crafter, I self-identify. So with the point editing, and what's important here is you can also delete points. So if we go here, and I start at this point here, I can hit delete, and I'm hitting just the delete button on my keyboard. And that just took that whole thing down. And I remember I told you, we can also take the option of simplifying these. We don't want our machine overworking itself on points like this. The less points, actually the better. You don't want them all clustered up in areas unless that's what the design really needs. So you just want to make sure that you have nice, clean, crisp lines, and a lot of bunched up points usually mean for jagged lines. Put our top lip right back over the top. We're gonna have to move it to the top, the right click. Let's exit point editing because it's confusing us. We're gonna right click and bring this to the front. So right there. Now we have completely closed shape. We have our little lip, bottom lip piece here. Let's make that white. So now I have the problem of closing lines all fixed up. Let's go, where did we had some issues around the fingers. We were missing some fingernails. I'm actually gonna steal them from up here, right click and duplicate. So I'm just grabbing myself this extra shape here. And I'm gonna bring it down. Right here. Let's zoom in and let's make ourselves some fingernails using the same points. I'm gonna double click. And now we're gonna look at how we can move these points around to create shapes that we need. I'm just picking little areas and dragging and dropping the little gray nodes to where I want it to be. Right click and duplicate that shape. Bring it over to this nail. And I'm just adjusting and going. Duplicate. Bring it to this nail. Now we got a little bit of issues with the fingertips too, so I'm just gonna drop my nodes here and address that. I'm basically just redirecting my shapes a little bit. Tracing tool is great, but sometimes not perfect, so you need to know how to adjust. I don't even think we have a fingernail right here on this pinky at all. No, we don't, we lost that. I'm gonna duplicate again. And if you ever get stuck where your point editing keeps coming up, just close out the panel. Right click, duplicate. So we gotta actually work this finger down a little bit. Oops. And don't be afraid, the undo button is your friend. All right. You can select and bring that right over. Remember, like I said, sometimes the point editing, just close your panel. There we go. And I think we're pretty good. Let's go ahead and start adding in some color just to show you how that works. Oop, I found a spot right here in the belt. Outline black. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and just go crazy with our coloring now. We're gonna add in our skin tones. So we have a PNG group as well, where in this group I provided everybody with some skin tone guides and some coloring guides. That's where I got all of my coloring from here. What do we got going on here? Oh, we got a broken line. We got another broken line right here. And so see, you see the problem of what happened. So right here at her shoulder line, you'd have to fix it just like the lips, because without that, we are now coloring everything. So instead of just wanting to color her dress, we're getting everything colored. We don't want that. So we're gonna go in and do the same process, but we're gonna close up that line. I think this time I'll show you how to do it with a little rectangle. Sometimes that works better too. So grab our shape. And again, we're just gonna move this right over here and adjust. Again. All right, now this time I'm gonna show you something that's a little different. What we're gonna do is we're gonna subtract this arm out. So I'm gonna hit the Shift key. And I'm gonna select my major black outline as well as my new little shape here. I'm gonna grab our modify panel again, and I'm going to hit subtract all. And what that does is that actually pops it out for ourselves. And we'll just have to release that. Let's go back, ungroup. We're gonna ungroup the two shapes. Now we have our individual shapes. Let's go back and check out our little square, our little rectangle here. We still need it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna weld it to our greater black outline. So we're gonna hold down our Shift key, grab our big black outline and select weld. Oh, bring it to back because I didn't subtract anything else. Right click, send to back. There we go. So we took our little other shape with it. We'll just save that for the end. Actually, I'm too OCD to leave it alone. Let's fix it now. I'm gonna double click, grabbing my points. I'm just gonna move these notes over so that my line thickness isn't affected. Hit delete. And it's this path right here we want to delete. And I'm just gonna delete these two right here. There we go. Same thing right here. Perfect. And so this solves the problem of sometimes Silhouette doesn't capture all of your lines perfectly, especially if you're dealing with something that's really intricate. Again, I'm using my Shift key to select any portions in her on this design that I want to color this specific color for her skin. And I'm making sure that I'm using my line color and my fill color are the same. So I'm going to continue selecting all of the shapes. Put that one right there. Filling this in. We are missing a couple nails here, so what I can do, the same way I did with the other, right click, duplicate. I'm just going to drop this on the pinky, bring it down a little bit. Hit delete, duplicate, and bring that up. This is going to take a little more reworking for size. Like anything, you can adjust. And so that, like I say, I really love Silhouette for the editing powers and capabilities that you have here. I don't think I like that. We might just leave that one black. This is at a weird angle. I'm gonna take that down just like that. And then we don't need our little fingernail. There we go. Alrighty. Missing this part of the face here. Let's grab that. And then, like I said, from here, it's just a coloring game. We're gonna go in. And because, like I said, it's got a bunch of different shapes. Like this would be a killer layered design. If you're really doing this in heat transfer vinyl, you are my hero, because this is a lot of shapes. This is definitely something I think that is geared a little more towards sublimation or print and cut. But the great thing is having made the SVG, you can customize it however you want for coloring afterwards. So let's say, let's give her, all right. See some more areas I need to click. And again, I'm just holding down my shift key and selecting all of these areas at once. Making sure that my line fill, that my fill color and my line style color all match now. So if you're making each one of these, we're changing this to this burgundy color. We'll make sure that it's burgundy for the fill, burgundy for the line. There we go. Take this one here too. All right. And let's go over here and do the skin and hair here. There we go. Perfect. Now let's do her hair. Now, if there's colors here that you don't see, you can always make them. You hit the advanced option. So let's say I want kind of like a bluish kind of color. Let's see. But I don't, ooh, no, that's not right. Let's click off that. So let's go and select somewhere around here. There we go. Perfect, I think. There we go. Beautiful. So you just click and find the color. You can also use color codes if you like. So I'm gonna go ahead and just grab all of the pieces of her hair. And I'm gonna color those in. So, and I want to zoom in because I think I see right here one little part. I'm not going to color that. I'm going to delete it. So again, in this process of making your SVG, you can definitely delete things that you don't see have any value to your design or might make it just a little more complicated to work with. All right, now let's go in. Let's do the nails. I'm going to zoom into the hand here. Make these yellow. I'm just zooming in to make it a little easier for everybody to see what I'm doing. Holding my shift key down, selecting each one of these. Yellow line, yellow fill. Now let's do these. Sometimes, like I say, if anytime you get stuck in like selecting these little shapes and it keeps doing point editing, just go and click off onto the mat and come back. So let's make these red. Red line, red fill. All right. We have to do some eyeshadow and some lip work. Now, anything that is white, don't let it be deceiving to you. It still has a black outline to it. So we want to make sure that anything that's going to stay white, let's hold the shift key down and grab anything that's staying white. So if you notice, this still has a black outline to it. We're going to change that to a white outline. It'll make sense as to why we need to do that later. White fill, white line. White fill, white line. White fill, white line. Same to these. White fill, white line. White fill, white line. Ooh, hit the back button. White fill, white line. All right, let's give her, we'll wait and hold on the eyeshadow and the lips so we can figure out, well, let's just give them a little color now. So I'm gonna pick kind of this, oops. I'm holding the shift key down. It's kind of peachy color here. Let's keep them the same for now. All right. So far, so good. Oop, I forgot the legs and her dress here. Holding my shift key down. There we go. All right. From here, we can just add in some colors for the dress. Cup. Actually, there we go. Zoom in and grab this belt. These should still be red. Part of the pants. Here. Make that red too. Cup. And you can go ahead and continue to color as much as you want from here. But all of our pieces here are really actually pretty good. Anything that you want to be a distinct color, you want to make sure that you color it in at this process. So I'll go ahead and let's add some color to the straw. Might as well make it green. Make this portion here, these green. Say she wanted some pink in here. There we go. Go ahead and give some color to her jewelry and her hair. There we go. And give her some color on her eyelids. There we go. On the same over here, let's add some extra color here. We might as well just make this red so that it all kind of matches in. I'm just holding my shift key down, grabbing my straw and my lid, red fill, red outline. Here we go. We can add color to this big base back here too. And there we go. We have our fully colored SVG, but we're not done yet. I'm actually just gonna move these to the side for now. We're gonna get our modified panel because this is still, none of this is grouped together. None of this is layered. This is literally in 1,000 pieces. Nothing's connected. Everything's just kind of there. So we're gonna select everything that we've recolored now, and we're gonna go and hit subtract all. And what that does now is it makes each one of these individual shapes, it cuts it out of each layer underneath of it. It is gonna take a moment there. It is packed with pieces. Wow, Silhouette is figuring out whether or not it likes me. Any questions so far? Yes, please make sure that you hit the notification button. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Hello, everybody. We got 35 people with us. Hello. All right, so now each one of these pieces here is its own little thing. Now what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna go and create our layers. So we're gonna go to edit and select by color. Now this is where we can double check to make sure that our line colors and our fill colors still match, okay? So everything that is this pink kind of color, that is the background, we're going to select right here, and that selects every single shape that is that color. See now, it selected everything. So having selected all of that, we're gonna hit make compound path. So now what was 3 little individual shapes is now 1 piece. And we're going to do that for every single color grouping that you have with this file. So everything that is yellow, make compound path, now 1 piece. Everything that is red, that should look, we got a couple different reds going on. How many different reds we got going on? I have to go back. This red should be, you can select it just to make sure. So we're going to go right here. I want this red to be that red. And I want to select all those reds. I must have off clicked on another kind of red, that red, and that red. These are lips, let's make compound path. The whites of the eyes, make compound path. All the blue pieces in her hair, make compound path. All of the gold pieces in her hair here, make compound path. All of the blue pieces in her drink. Why is it not selecting? Make compound path. You know why it's not doing this? Pink pieces in her drink. Our line colors aren't matching. See, that's why it's not selecting appropriately. All of the pieces in her hair, make compound path. What is this? All of the green in her drink, make compound path. Why is this yellow any different than our other yellow? We have her nail color different. We wanted it the same as her dress. So let's make that yellow. Make compound path. Still dealing with different reds. Make compound path. You got a lot of different colors going on here. Everything that's black, make compound path. Everything that's her skin color here, make compound path. Yep. And see, you see when we did that with the black, we had left something. So I gotta hit undo. Some of her hair wasn't colored all blue. So let's go over to by fill. Make sure that everything has this blue fill, that blue line. Now make compound path. So anytime you start seeing areas blacked out, it's because you probably still had a black outline going on. I don't know where that little piece is, but we're gonna hit delete for that. Oh, that's one piece. Make compound path. All of our black, make compound path. Very good. So you see we didn't get anything blacked out there. That's one piece. And I'm just scrolling down to make sure everything is one piece that's supposed to be one piece. I'm not even finding where this red is on the mat. It must be off the mat if I'm not seeing it. There it is. So let's recolor. Hit the shift key and I'm going to select my other red, make compound path. Let's go zoom in. Because I moved my shape and I didn't mean to. And I moved it, release, and I put it together wrong. I just noticed that. So I just released it because I messed up my shape. You don't want it messed up. And line it back up to where it needs to be. There we go. Make compound path. Make compound path. So everything should be one piece. Silhouette is acting a little crazy right now. Come on, let it go. You see that? It will not let me click off. That's really weird, Silhouette. It's freezing up on us here, and it's like ghosting this image here that's not really there. Let's give Silhouette a little time out to breathe and go and see if there's any questions. I'm gonna let it catch up with itself right now. So this SVG was not, this SVG is not in the mystery. The mystery box is coming, guys. I don't know what we did here. I have to hit the undo button. Silhouette is acting insane. It's releasing my images. Let's see. So we do have mystery box coming up. And guys, I didn't even tell you, we have a 50-50 cash raffle on the website. We have our craft and tip up on the website. So every single month, somehow, how did it duplicate that? Every single month, we have a live on Zoom craft night with drinks and games and chances to win. So we have that coming up on the 1st. 50-50 cash raffle. As you people purchase their raffle tickets, 50% of that bag. So whatever pot, whatever much money we make from the 50-50 raffle will go, and we will split. Half of it will go directly to the winner that will be chosen live on the 1st at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Let's see where we're at now. We're good there, good here. One piece. This is one piece. That's one piece. That is one piece. That's supposed to be one piece with the straw, but I see the straw is not connected. Let's go ahead in here. Let's connect up our straw. So I'm just gonna hold the shift key down and grab these little pieces of my straw and hit make compound path. So now that's all one piece. Have our blue here, one piece, skin, or skin, one piece, one piece. Oh, actually the black is not one piece. Make compound path. Green is one piece, red is one piece, white is one piece. And I'm just making sure that as I look that there's only one big box around it, okay? So everything is in its individual pieces. So now we can pull this apart. No, this isn't for some reason. How's that not one piece? Because they're different colors, Shanrao. Here we go. Make compound path. When you hit make compound path, it will make it one piece for you. All right. So now we have our fully broken apart SVG where everything, nope. And I do this to double check because the last thing is I want to sell an SVG that is in a million pieces where things are not layered. You should be, if this is your goal to ultimately sell your own files, then you need to be double and triple checking your work. Right click, make compound path. All right. So let's do this again. Let's pull this baby apart. One piece, one piece. Nope, our blue is not on one piece. Let's see if we got one piece now. Nope. I must have these colored some type of different way. So I'm just gonna go in here and grab them. Come on, Silhouette. Silhouette is acting real crazy today. All right, I think I still need this little piece here. And I'm just gonna move just that itself. So nope, and I'm missing one more piece. And it's this one right here. There we go. And all of our blue is that one piece. All right, now let's do our thing again. Let's pull it apart. Oh, actually, I'm missing one piece of little blue right there. You want to be meticulous in your work. So let's just go through. So I know I'm missing a piece of blue that I got to fix. That's good, that's good, that's good. This one piece, lips of one piece. And I'm just pulling this baby apart. There we go. And her fingers are not a piece, so we have to fix the fingers and the blue on her hair, and we're good to go. I'm just gonna hit the undo button. And again, so we go over a lot of stuff like this in the masterclass. For $25 a month, you can join our masterclass and get access to weekly live tutorials where we will show you what we know. We provide supply lists. This month's focus was on software. So actually, I'm going to be posting in the group the information for next week's class, which is all about apps. We're actually going to learn how to create our own print and cut designs using apps on your phone that translate for both iPhones and Androids. All right, and that's all of our pieces there. We're good to go. And let's go ahead and grab those fingers and attach them. Holding my shift key down. Right click, make compound path. Now that's all one layer. Now I know it gets a little tedious, but we're gonna pull this baby apart one more time just to make sure that we're good to go. Because we're not, I see that I got one little piece of black there that's not attached to the black outline, but that seems to be the only thing. Yay! And this is why these SVGs that are a million pieces, I can only imagine if you were actually gonna do this with HTV and not make this into a print and cut. That's why I designed this specific image to have this circle around it so that it would actually rock real easy as a print and cut, because this is literally print, and then your machine is just cutting the circle around this. Let's zoom in and grab that little black piece. This black outline here needs to be attached to the greater one. Right click, make compound path, and we're good. So here is the SVG. All together. I'm actually going to right click group, right click convert to path. Before we do anything else, I'm going to prove to you that this is a fully functioning SVG. So I'm going to hit save, save as, save to my hard drive. I'm going to save this as BFF SVG. I save everywhere on my computer. I'm going to save the file type as an SVG. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Design Space. Let me share my screen once I have that up. Just give me a moment. Any questions, guys? Please hit the notification button to make sure that you get notifications of all of our lives, especially if you want to see anything more like this. Well, come on, we're going to be adding a lot more videos. Please make sure that you subscribe. And feel free to post any questions. All right. For some reason, my Design Space doesn't want to load. But I guarantee you this is an SVG, and I can open it in Affinity and show you that it's an SVG. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, Design Space decided it wanted to work. Let's go ahead and log in. And I'll start my share from here. So new share my screen. So here you can see my Design Space. Let me set this up for my maker. I'm gonna go to new projects. Of course, I haven't gotten used to using the desktop app just yet. I know I'm gonna have to. But I did open up Affinity as well. So I can go File, Open. Let's grab the Best Friends SVG. Right now I'm in Affinity Design. There we go. All of our layers. Let's resize this. So here you go. We can change our fill strokes and colors here. So you know it's an SVG. Each piece. You want to actually select each one. So I wanted to manipulate that background color that's here. So truly an SVG, you go over here. Let's see if it lets me do it now. It's not. Already downloaded the plugin. It doesn't want to. But like I said, completely SVG, because each one of these shapes now change. Recolor. And continue on. We're going to leave Cricut alone for right now, but it is completely an SVG. Affinity is not a free app, but it is a one-time fee. I like Affinity because I don't use Photoshop that often. I find Affinity to be much more user-friendly and gives you all the functionality that Photoshop does without a monthly fee. Clarksville, we're in Connecticut. So again, we have a 50-50 raffle up on the website, www.svgondemand.com. Anything you need, you can find us there. Since Design Space wants to act right now, let's go ahead and just show you that again, it is truly an SVG because we can upload it here. So made and designed right there in Silhouette, but saved as an SVG, you can take it wherever you need to. Glenda, I know, actually I was messing with Design Space earlier, you wouldn't know it though. You see here, all of our layers, right click, we could ungroup. See, Glenda, see how it just disappeared? You put it on us, Glenda, see? Yes, I think all of the software is just acting wonky today because look at this. Right click, ungroup. Now that I have it ungrouped, you see all your different pieces. Now, because we were meticulous, because we made sure each one of our pieces was grouped appropriately, we don't have any worries about our file breaking apart into bazillion pieces, because we did our homework and we made sure all of our layers were tightly combined and made into compound paths. And there you go. And so since you guys have been so cool with me and rocked with me so long, I'll show you just one more thing. So what I'm going to do is because we've made this into an SVG, I know that we talked about it actually being able to use it as a print and cut or use it as for sublimation. What we can do is using our Google, trusted Google images, we're going to go google.com. I want to snazz up my girls a little bit. So we're coming into February. My best friends, let's go ahead. I'm going to find myself some African Kente, African prints background. Wallpaper HD is what I'm going to search for. I'm going to go to images. These are all, these should technically all be HD or close enough to it. I like this one. This is not HD. You see how small that is? That's going to be blurry. So I'm going to go here. Let's go to tools, size. Let's hit large. We want large images in the thousands, preferably. So I think that this is pretty right here, definitely. I'm going to right click, copy image. Let's go back to Silhouette. Show you something cute we can do. Let's paste this. We're going to make this the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I'm going to resize it. Oh, come on, software. Right click, send the back. Select, holding my shift key down. I'm also going to select the background, because I have to ungroup this first, ungroup. Let's select this background circle, the shift key, hold down my new image, and then I'm gonna go Object, Modify, Crop. And right click, make compound path. And now that is our print. We can keep going. We can grab others. Right click, copy image. Go here to silhouette, right click, paste. Right click, we're gonna send this to the back. I'm gonna select the yellow in her dress, hold the shift key down, get our new print, Object, Modify, Crop. Right click, make compound path. And now her dress has that same print. I'm gonna redo that because that's actually kind of big. I want it smaller than that. Just gonna resize it down. Put it right there again. Shift key holding both background image and the yellow from her dress. Object, modify, crop. There we go. Right click, make compound path. Actually, let's make this background yellow. And let's go and grab old girl some pant fabric. This is cute. Right click, copy image. Right click, paste. Right click, send to the back. Object, modify, crop. Hope I didn't have anything selected. Object, modify, crop. Right click, make compound path. That is actually not positioned where I want it. So I'm gonna bring it to the front first. Right click, bring to the front. And I'm gonna line it up better here. If we wanted to see this a little more clearly, what we could do here in our fill panel, we can go to the transparency so that we can see to make sure that we're lining this up to where we want it. And I think I'm actually gonna put this in her shirt and not her pants. I'll line it up to right there. Perfect. Make it full transparency again. Send it to the back. Grab my shirt. Object, modify, crop. Beautiful. Right click, make compound path. And you can continue to do that with as many different fills as you wanted to if you wanted to put something in the pant area now. But you can jazz this up and take it to whatever level you want. Group it. And now this, my friends, you would save as a ping or a JPEG. So you can go File, Save As, Save to hard drive. We're gonna make this a PNG. So I'm gonna put BFF Live PNG. Save that. I like my images big. Select transparent background, hit save. Hello, Jesse. And from there, we now have a ping that we can use to create. So if we go here, file, merge, let's grab that ping and bring this in now. See, so what is acting crazy? Because right here, I have myself set up for 8.5 by 11 and not a 12 by 12, the same size as my mat. File, save as, Save the hard drive. I'm gonna save this as a ping. We're gonna replace that one, yes. Now that that's saved, give it a second. Now file merge. All better. There we go. There's a ping that, and now this cannot be ungrouped. Right click, there's no option to ungroup. This is an image file now, okay? This is an image file. This is not the SVG that we can then modify. This is a ping. We can then take this over here. We could bring this back to design space. And bring this in as a print and cut. Upload image, browse, let's grab that ping. And this is transparent, so we're good to go. We don't need to take anything out. We can just bring it on in. The undo button. Like I said, it's a large image, hit continue. Save as a print and cut. You see, now we're ready to print and cut and go with this too. Now we definitely have to resize it. But here's our ping. All right. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed our live, please hit the notification button and make sure that you get all notifications about our future lives. And feel free to join me over on Facebook, where I'll be going live in the next hour with another class. But make sure that you do hit the notification button so that you get all notifications for our live here on YouTube. Thank you so much. It's been SB from SVG On Demand, www.svgondemand.com. If you like our classes, check out our masterclass, where you only pay $25 a month for weekly live craft tutorials and assistance with exclusive SVG On Demand content. Everybody have a great evening and enjoy.